Welcome back to the second part of the number shuffle tutorial. I'm going to start by, let's just exit and come right in here. You see right inside the project area. I'm going to right click on there. Let's go to create and we select C# script. Let's give that a name. I'm just going to call it shuffle codes. There we go. That is the name of my C# script. Now let's click on open and get it opened. There. Once that opens up, okay, my coding environment has started. So I'm going to first of all delete all of this, and I'm going to need I will need the start function later on. But before then, I need the following libraries. One of them is going to be using Unity engine.ui. Okay, let's copy that. And that's going to be using Unity engine.ui. And the other library I'm going to get hold of is going to be using system, and followed by using, let's say using random, and that is going to be equals Unity random. So we'll say Unity engine dot random. So we need that very library as well, dot random. Since we're going to be using some random generator, so we're going to need that. Now I think we are ready to start. Now right up here, I'm going to have to declare the following variable. The very first one that I'm going to declare will be an integer. This one I will use that to carry out some counting. So let's say int counter so that is my counter. Okay, and I will then declare some variables, but let's call that public text. That will be the object, and this object I'm going to call it, since it's going to be a button that I'm going to be using for buttons, I'm just going to say btn btn data. Okay, that's one, or btn data 1. All right, so I'm going to need about 12 of those. So let's just press enter, and there we go. The system already given me number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see. No, I only have 9 here. Bring that up here properly. I was too fast. Let's say 10, 11, and 12. There. I will also need to declare the following. So let's say public test, and that's going to be for my reset button. So this one will be btn reset. There. Then we have the solution. So that was going to be public text, and I'll just call that btn solution. And I'm going to need 2 more. One is just going to be clicks, number of clicks. So every time I click on the button, I want something to record it. Okay, so we can just call that public text, and that is going to be known as BTN, maybe record clicks. Okay, or BTN number click. Let's say number click. Yeah, number click or click numbers. Whatever, that's fine. BTN number clicks. All right, then another one, the last one. This is going to be for just the text box because I want this one to display. Let's get rid of this. That is going to be a text box. So let's say txt display counts. There we go. That is it, done. So those are the variables that I intend to use, and we now need to create some functions. One of the functions that I'm going to create will be the one I will use to check the buttons if it's empty or not. So I'm going to come right down here. Just come down here and just say public void, because it's not going to return any value. So it's a public void. Check sports. Check the sports, and check sports, that is going to take in the following argument. Okay, and what are the arguments? First of all, let's enter statement block there. Now it's going to take in the following argument. That's going to be text object, and the argument is taken is going to be, maybe let's say data button 1, data button 1, comma, then we'll say text box again, and that's going to be data button 2. Right, there we go. Now if data button 2, if it's empty, so let's use an if statement. If the data button 2 dot text, if that is empty, okay, compare it and make sure it is empty. Yeah, if it's empty, so what we then want the system to do is data button 2 dot text. We now want you to take in whatever value we have inside data button 1 dot text. Once that is done, that means data button 1 will be empty. So come right down here, paste that and say equals empty. There we go, because the value in here is now stored in here. Right, that's cool. Now the next one is going to be the one I'll call solution checker. So let's say public, come right down here, public solution public solutions, okay, and that is going to be enter statement block in there. So what we are now checking is if btn data 1 is empty, no, is equals 1. So if btn data 1 dot text, if it's equals 1, and btn data 2 dot text equals number 2 and btn data 3 dot text equals 3 and let's come down here, give it a not from, copy all of this. The next one is going to be for data 4. This is 4 and we have 5 here. No, this should be 5, 4. This is 5 and we have 5 here. And we have 6 and 6 right here. Okay, and the next one is going to be for 7, 7, 7, and we have 8, 8 here. Then we have 9, 9 here. Then we have 10, 11, and finally we have 12. The case of 12, that is actually empty. There we go. If that is empty, we want the following. So if that is empty, now get rid of number 12, we don't need that. So in as much all of these buttons have the following value on them. We have 4 here, 5, 6. Yeah, that is correct. If they have the following value, we then want the text box to display a winning message. This one. Okay, grab all of that and just paste that in here. Dot text, display the following. Well done. You are a winner. There we go. That's it. And close that. So in our case, we now want this variable here, counter. Counter has to be incremented. So let's say counter plus equals 1. Yeah. You can just say that counter plus equals 1 and we need to store the value in here. So come down here, counter plus equals 1. There we go. Now we need to store the value right inside btn number clicks. Come right down here, btn number click dot text, that will be equals counter dot, you need to convert it to string character. There, that is it, done. So my second function is taken care of. We have spot check and we also have solution. Okay, now the final one. So in the case of the final one, this is the one that we actually shuffle the buttons. So I might as well just call it shuffle buttons. So that's going to be public void button shuffle. Let's come in here and just say public void button. Let's say, yep, let's just say button shuffle. And with button shuffle, I want the following. First of all, I'm going to create an array. And this array, I'm just going to call it, let's say, button number. Button or btn number. Btn number will be equals new integer, and the value in here, that will be 12. There. Okay, that's one down. We now need two more variables. Let's say int q, comma, and int k, comma. Then we need to check rows. So that's another one. So we have our three variables there. Then we now also need a boolean that we just flag whatever we have. So I'm going to say flag equals false for now. All right. So let's assign a value to q. We'll say q, that would be equals 1 right away. There we go. Now we use a do while loop. Do while. So the do while is going to be while the condition. Let's just enter while in here. While the condition, that will be q. While q is less than and equals 12. Okay. So we want the following. We'll come back and get that done. So let's enter our condition here for the while loop. So the condition is if the row checker, so let's just say row checker here, that will be equals random dot range. Here, random dot range, and what is the range? The range is going to start from 0 to 12. That is correct. So I'm now going to use a for loop. So let's say for, that is going to be k equals 1 and k is less than and equals to q, and we just need to say k plus plus increment k and enter statement block. Now let's get this array involved. So I'm now going to say if button number, if that takes in the following value, which is going to be, that will be k. If k equals check rows, yeah, that's correct. Then I want the following, enter statement block again. Then the flag in this case is going to be true. So let's say flag equals true. Then we also break there. Now that is done, right underneath here, let's use another if statement. If flag equals true, okay, let's use an if statement. Grab all of that, come right down here. If flag equals true, equals true, there, enter statement block, then the flag should default back to false. There we go. Then we now use an else statement here. Okay, we say else bring that down. Button number, that would be, actually button number would be Q, not K. Button number Q, that would be equals row plate, check row. There we go. So Q, let's say Q equals Q plus 1. Right. Enter semicolon there. Okay. Okay, we now need to assign value to each of the buttons. So I'm going to go up here, just grab hold of, maybe just grab hold of 1 and bring it down here. So y cubes less than and equals to 12, and button 1 dot text, and that we take in this value, whatever value we have inside the btn num. So that's going to be, we need to get it converted dot to string. That is correct, whatever value we have inside the btn num. So let's put that in. That's the first value is 1. So I'm going to copy this, press enter, paste. That will be for 2, 3. I'm going to need 12 of those. And just, there we go. And this is going to be for 12. In the case of 12, 12 is empty. Get rid of that. There, that's 12. And this is 11. 11, this is 10. And we have 10 here. 9. 9, 8, and 8 right here. 7, 6, and the data name, the button name is 6. No, that's not. This is 6. Then we have 5, and that's 5. Then we have 4, and 4 here as well. 3, 2, and 1. There, all done. So I've finished with my third function. So you see this function here, button shuffle. I'm going to call that very function inside this button here, inside the start function. Paste that in there, enter, semicolon. Okay, make sure that is saved. Now, let me show you guys one thing before we finish up with the... Okay, let's minimize this and have a look at the editor here. You see, the movement of the buttons is going to be as follows.